filler primer really actually fills in the little imperfections. So I may do that. Welcome back to the community, everybody. And thank you for being here. All right, so dash formation. All right, so dash transformation is what this is. I guess you know that by the thumbnail picture and me talking about it before. So let's make this dash pretty cool looking. I don't want it just blank and painted. I want to do some cool stuff with it. So let's get into it. Let me ask a question. Do you have your new subscription to VW Trends magazine? Please go down in the description and get yours. They're back in action. They've been back for a little while. What a great magazine that we've had from our youth. So if you remember live chat last week, Jackson's Garage is there every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with us. His name is Doug, actually. Very, very nice guy. We've been communicating a lot. And I found out he only lives about a half hour, 40 minutes, not very far. But here's where I'm going with this. Jackson's Garage is his son, Jackson, who became a club member, got a shirt. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you for being part of it. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Now, if you're wondering what way I'm doing this, it's completely different. There's no wrong or right way, usually, but I'm doing it my way. Frank Sinatra sang about that. I'm going to go ahead and do the dash. Then I'm going to do a really unique design. My buddy Johnny, my admin on the Facebook group, we're actually very close friends. He came up with a unique idea for the back seat, and I'm not telling anybody. You'll see the video and you're going to be like, wow, I can't thank him enough for that idea. He's very creative. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to do the carpeting. Heather's going to step in and help, obviously, with the upholstery for the back and the carpeting. I'll have her do some of that. And we're going to complete the interior. Then I'm going to mask off all the window openings, sand the car down and paint. And then, of course, I get in between, I got to do front end alignment, rear end alignment. You'll get to see it. And I'm going to spend $20 and do the alignments a little different, but we'll get into that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me pop a few things out of the way first here, and we'll get started. keep something in mind here. You've seen me taking the doors off, taking the seats off. It's so much easier when you're filming. I'm moving the camera around probably every 2 minutes, 2 cameras. So if you see me pulling the doors, it's so you can see in here. If your doors are easy to get off, then, and I did a video on that, I can leave the link in the description how to get the screws out easy without breaking them or struggling. But removing the doors, the seats, you need them out of the way. Plain and simple, your steering column, you need it out of the way because we're going to be sanding all this. Obviously, you're going to need a 67 or back ashtray so you don't have the plastic cover, which shows the shift pattern. You probably know that already. Hopefully you do, because you bought a Beetle with a stick shift. But we're going to go ahead now. We're going to plot something out here real quick so we can figure out what we are after. I want something a little different, not just painted and life goes on and people say, wow, you removed the dash pad. No. All right, so I'm going to sand this down. I'm going to time lapse and speed it up again. Now remember, once I'm done sanding, that's it for the speeding the film up, because I want you to watch what I wipe everything down with, the painting procedure, technically, which Rust-Oleum I chose this time. Same color, but you have your 5-in-1 spray, you have your turbo can, and you have your regular can. The 5-in-1 spray I'll be using on all the body sections, okay, because it has a nice wide fan on it. When I'm doing small areas like this, I use the regular nozzles. The turbo spray I'm going to use all across the roof because it'll just blanket it. So that should make sense to you. I'm going to speed this up again, okay? And then after that, everything will go to normal. Nothing with me is normal, but you're used to me, so that's what matters. Okay, let's sand this down and then we'll go back to normal. One more thing. I know, shut up. Wear a dust mask. I have a better one, an actual respirator, but I'm just wearing this right now. It's good enough for what I'm doing. You're not cool not wearing a mask. That don't make you a tough guy, okay, or a hardcore lady. Wear a mask. Teach the younger ones who are watching you. My dad wore a mask. My uncle wore a mask. My grandfather wore a mask. You know what I mean? All right, enough about that. Wear safety glasses. I have to use my reader glasses. I can't wear them, unfortunately. I need a bigger set to go over them so I look like a bonehead. It's all right. So we got our holes filled in, and I use the lightweight body filler because it's nice and smooth to sand. It makes it just easier. I love that Evercoat. They make really nice products, and I'm sure a few other places do too. I use Rage Gold for a while, but I can't find it now, and I'm not buying a gallon of it. You see me blocking off the holes because we'll be spraying shortly here. I got to block off the vent frost. Try again, bum bum. The froster vents. I did have to buy these because when you're going to a metal dash, your ones with the padded dash will stick up like that. These, I don't want to push them in and clip them yet, but they sit, oh, okay, I don't want to push it no further, it'll clip in. These are from the UK at Heritage because their cars over there didn't have the padded dash like the USA. You know, the padded dash is going to save your life. I know. So I did buy these from Heritage. They're very reputable in the UK. But we're going to go ahead, let this dry for a few minutes, give it a sand, and then we're going to go ahead and paint it. Underneath here, now if you wonder why down here you still see a little bit of glue here and there, I was sanding the heavy stuff all off because the carpeting's going to cover that. I am going to throw some paint on it, okay? But I didn't bother with like all the glue in the crevices and that. I'm going to hit them with wax and grease remover, and I'll probably still get the wire brush in there, get a couple of that. But that's all going to be carpeted. I did sand under the dash, so we'll be wiping that off and spraying it all together. Now I'm going to tell you something I'm going to do. Some of you like it, some of you won't. I don't care. So we're going to be spraying the dash, the pillars, that's all sanded down. I'm going to take a masking line and run it down here. Okay, so I'm spraying the A-pillar and then the dash and all underneath here. I'm painting in sections. So once I do my mask line here, we'll spray all this, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and wait because I got to do some work on the heater channels here. And when I go to paint the rest of this, all I got to do is mask over like a 1/4 inch over to where the fresh paint is and just wet sand it lightly and it'll blend in with the new paint. I'm not a body man, but I've done this crap before and I've never had an issue. So you won't be able to tell. Okay, I'm going to let that set up. And there was something else I wanted to tell you, and I absolutely forgot what it was. Normal for me now. But we did block off all of our openings. And if you wondered why it wasn't just for sanding dust, it was because I'm going to be spraying paint here shortly. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I'll be right back in a second. So I got my first coat on and sanded, and if you wonder, I missed a piece right there, what I plugged off, you have holes that hold the dashboard on for the studs that go through. And you also have a couple screw holes up top. I'm eliminating the idiot light that was on the 68. That's why I covered that over, because I have a power port hole down here that I can use. So I sanded it down the first coat. Now I got to go ahead and just do a light skim coat for some imperfections, because you're going to see them when you're looking at the dash that close, and I'll get frustrated. So I'm going to go ahead and speed that up. We're going to continue to time lapse, of course. If you've seen me using a brass center punch, where the screws went down the top of the dash, I guess from the screw pulling the metal up, it was a little bit elevated, so I took a brass punch and punched it down in, and then I'll put some filler over it, and it will smooth it right out. So that's not going to be a problem. But if you wondered why I was using a brass punch, that's what I was doing. So let's get some filler on real quick. Resand. I'm still using the lightweight filler. And I use 180 to 220 to sand. It sands very easily compared to Bondo that's like sanding concrete. Ugh. Okay, so I've got this all sanded down. That was spot putty that I went over this with, and seems pretty good. I'll find out when I spray the primer on. If I have a little nick that I missed or something, I can always scuff it with the primer on and spot putty it with glaze. But I think I should be good. This is tough here because it's curved. So you're almost trying to work with the design of it. You know, it's not flat. The rest of it come out pretty good though. Like I said earlier, if you skated through the video and was skipping stuff, I'm masking off down here and spraying the inside. And then I can blend it later by sanding the edge down is what I do. So I can paint in sections. I might use fill-in primer. I'm not sure yet, still debating. Filler primer really actually fills in the little imperfections. So I may do that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mask everything off that I need to, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got everything masked off. I just threw a blanket and towels. No, they're not Heather's towels. Over the front end. I went ahead and masked to a certain point. I'll explain up close in a second what I'm going to do. So I had some black foam I covered over the holes with and then used masking tape for the rest with the defroster vents and everything. And of course did the same to the other side. When you're doing this, don't forget to plug off the ashtray, because if not, you're going to be in there trying to clean up, you know, the runners for the ashtray. And very important, it may not look like anything's there. It's a piece of black foam. There's some down there. These are where your screws go in to hold your door on. Don't plug them threads up. So I think we're ready. I got to wipe it with wax and grease remover. I'm still debating on which primer to use. I have regular primer or I have filler primer. I think I'm going to use the regular etching primer in here because the filler primer might be too much buildup that I really don't need. So I'm going to go ahead, wipe it with wax and grease remover. As I said down here, I'm not really that worried. I'm going to spray it and I'll wipe it off to make sure it's clean first, but the carpeting goes all along here. I'm not worried about perfection where the carpeting is going to cover. But I did do underneath because, of course, that's going to show. So I got to wipe that all down too, but almost there. Okay, so you can buy what kind you want. This is the one I grabbed while I was at the store, wax and tar remover. You want to wipe your metal down before you start painting. Sometimes it will prevent fisheye. Like I said, I'm not a body man, but you know, make sure you wipe this down first. Don't just blow it off. All right, so thanks to Justin and Ashley. I might have shown this before. I can't remember. I apologize if I did. Very good family friends of ours have bought me this to put in the Sawzall to shake up my cans, and I appreciate that. It may not sound like much, but when you're standing there going like this forever, trying to hear the ball move, I don't even hear it yet. Oh, there it might be. It's tiring after a while. Putting it in the gun is night and day. Thank you again, Justin and Ashley. I appreciate that very much. Now, as you can see, I'm stocked pretty good. I have 2-in-1 filler sandable primer. I have regular automotive primer, and no, I'm not worried about the little bit of a lighter color. I've never had an issue with that. And behind those, there's also a filler primer and an etching primer. I think I'm just going to go with the automotive primer for the dash. I don't have nothing I have to really worry about showing up. Now, you've seen me wearing this earlier for sanding. I still recommend going with something a little better, but that's what I used for sanding. Make sure you buy something like this if you're going to be spraying. When you're using a primer, a paint, a clear coat, make sure you use this. I'm going to be using Spray Max 2K Clear on the clear coat when I do the outside of the car. I would even recommend something even better. You're going to see me wearing that, but try to get something a little better if you can. So let's shake the can up and get our gear on. And proper ventilation. I have a high volume fan that's going to blow up to the fan in the window, taking it outside and repainting the neighbors' houses. Okay, it's like a little ratchet. Now, if you want to, you can also put a clamp around her, like a hose clamp. They sell the kind with the wing nuts on them. But this seemed to work last time. So it's nice and tight. Let's give it a shake, shake. You ain't shaking it up like that by hand. One thing I might say is be careful, though, because a buddy of mine, Adam, over at Air Sucker's Garage, I don't know what happened. Maybe there was a defect in one of the cans, and he did this. Yeah, boom. There was red paint everywhere. He didn't send me a photo of it. I really wanted to see that. But anyhow, don't shake too fast. Don't put it on warp speed. And then the next thing you know, well, you know, boom. So just take it easy on it. And I can just feel it is so shaken up good. I could tell by the ball I'm barely shaking it. What a difference. Okay, I'm going to put my gear on. I'm going to set the camera. I'm going to time lapse it, not too fast, with some music so you can watch me spray. And then, of course, we'll do the paint, etc., etc. Now, I know 99% of you probably know this, but if there's that 1%, you know what I'm getting at. These are nice. You just snap them on. You know, this stuff only happens when I'm filming, I swear, but I'm not editing stuff out. Take two. If in fact you don't have one of these, get one. It's like spraying from a gun, and it's fun to put on. It's really exciting. But this is like spraying from a gun when you're fanning back and forth and squeezing it like an HVLP gun. It really, really makes a difference. Yes, I was trying to pull it off. So we got our primer laid down. I'm going to bring you up close to it. I'm going to show you I found one spot. Of course, I'm not a pro. Even pros make mistakes. But I'm going to show you up close in a minute. I'm going to explain something. So that all come out really nice. Nice and smooth. I am very happy with that. Let me get inside the car. So there's what it looks like so far. I pointed in the video right there. I got a boo-boo. Look at that. That is a very hard spot because I don't want to touch it. It curves here. So I'm going to go ahead and spot filler it a little bit. I won't waste time on camera with that and smooth it back out. You can see right there, it's curved there. So it's a little bit more difficult to deal with, but I'm going to hit it with some spot putty off camera, sand it and smooth it out. I don't think you want to keep watching that. over and over and over. But the end result came out pretty nice, in all honesty. Of course, don't forget the mouse stuff off good. But looking good. Like I said, down at the bottom, the carpeting goes here, all across there, all across there. I wasn't really worried about that as much, but I did need to get primer on it. So I'll go ahead and spray that with paint also. But that down there I wasn't as concerned about, as you could tell. The underneath come out very nice. So what I'm going to do, now I'm not going to wait till next Friday for the next video to paint. I don't want to wait that long in between with videos for this. So this is part one. I'm going to let this sit overnight, believe it or not, because I don't like the feeling of the humidity. And primer, I like to scuff it down with like 800 grit or 1000 to smooth it back out of here. I'm going to fix that little bump, that little bruise, and we're going to go ahead and spray the paint in part two and start accenting the dash. So this was part one. I hope you enjoyed it. It took a lot to put it all together. It probably don't look it, but it did. So we'll go ahead. Today is Friday. Don't forget Sunday Night Live chat at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun. Probably Tuesday, part two will be out. And we're going to go ahead and fancy the dash up. Glove box painted, the grills painted. I'll probably go ahead and try to accent the radio by then and put it in. So as always, thank you for being here. It's springtime. Going to get a lot of stuff done. I'm happy, you could tell, to be back in a garage and doing real work. So, and I am going to bring up, if you made it this far, say E15, they're jacking the alcohol up, ethanol, and the gas to 15% now. I'm going to work on a video over the weekend and release it next week sometime on what to watch out for and what we can do. Hey, see you Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern live. Have a good day.